大家好，今日咧係我哋呢度巴厘島 BBC 禪修我哋再一次嚟到邀請我哋嘅禪師 Vimalaramsi 今日咧嚟到我哋而家呢個法堂入邊，同我哋宣説中部140同埋中部62嘅經文。今日咧，我嘗試咧用翻廣東話希望咧能夠更加攝眾因為我哋普通話嘅好普通咁樣希望大家咧喺呢個咁嘅過程入邊能夠聆聽，同埋聽唔到你哋有書可以打開嚟睇，你們的經文裡面有嗎？你們大家分享。Bhante, we're going to have the Sutta Bojjhanga 140 and 60.
You know that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just introduce it.
I have a question before we begin. I read the Pasanadi and Ajatasattu, and I never heard you say those. What did you replace them with? You didn't say the names.
Vimalaramsi.
No.
Oh, the name of the sutta.
The name of the kings.
Yesterday. I cannot pronounce that word in Chinese. I have a little bit translation, but it's different from what they translate in English.
Okay.
It's very strange translation.
Okay, just wondering. Thus, I heard on one occasion the Blessed One was wandering in the Magadhan country.
表示我有一次咧，世尊喺呢個摩羯陀國進行喺度遊行，即係遊來遊去。
And eventually arrived at Rajagaha.
最後咧就抵達呢個王舍城。
There he went to the potter Bhagawa and said to him,
咁見到一個即係個圖作叫Bhagawa，咁去到咧就問Bhagawa啦。
If it is not inconvenient for you, Bhagawa, I will stay one night in your workshop.
咁世尊即係佛陀就同Bhagawa講如果唔麻煩到你嘅話，我想喺度住一晚。
It is not inconvenient for me, Venerable Sir, but there's a homeless one already staying there.
大家對我嚟講咧一啲都唔麻煩，但係咧呢度已經有一個出家人嚟咗呢度住先。
If he agrees, then stay as long as you like, Venerable Sir.
咁當然啦，如果佢係允許嘅話，我唔介意你嚟呢度住嘅。
Now there was a clansman named Pukusati who had gone forth from the home life into homelessness out of faith in the Blessed One.
當時咧有個叫 Pukusati 咧呢個咁嘅善男子，因為咧相信佛陀個法，而就喺個佛陀嗰個信任入邊佢咧就去出家修行。
And on that occasion, he was already staying in the potter's workshop.
而 Pukusati 咧就一早就嚟咗呢個咁嘅地方住。
Then the Blessed One went to the Venerable Pukusati and said to him, If it's not inconvenient for you, monk, I will stay one night in the workshop.
佛陀咧就去見到呢個 Pukusati， 咁佢就問 Pukusati 啦，佢話比丘如果唔麻煩到你嘅話，我想話喺度住一晚咁。
The potter's workshop is very large, friend. Let the Venerable One stay as long as he likes.
咁呢個地方咧都好豐闊嘅朋友如果唔人嫌棄嘅話咧，可以唔使考慮就住喺度啦。
Then the Blessed One entered the potter's workshop, prepared a spread of grass at one end.
咁當時咧，世尊就唔客氣啦，就喺呢個咁嘅圖作呢個住所入邊，咁就住入嚟，就喺一旁咧就設置咗啲草席坐落嚟。
and sat down, folding his legs crosswise, setting his body erect and establishing mindfulness in front of him.
佛陀咧就提起正念，挺直個身體，就盤起個腿，咁咧就坐落嚟。
Then the Blessed One spent most of the night seated in meditation.
佛陀咧就係成晚咧都喺度禪坐。
And the Venerable Pukusati also spent most of the night seated in meditation.
而嗰位出家人 Pukusati 咧，亦都成晚一齊喺度禪坐喎。
The Blessed One thought this clansman conducts himself in a way that inspires confidence.
佛陀係咁樣諗，呢位善男子舉止咁端正
Suppose I were to question him.
我不如問一問佢啦。
So he asked the Venerable Pukusati,
咁佢就問 Pukusati 啦。
Under whom have you gone forth, monk? Who is your teacher? Whose Dhamma do you profess?
請問比丘，你係跟邊一位出家㗎？你嘅師父大師係邊位啊？你係選擇邊位嘅法呢？
Friend, there is the recluse Gotama, the son of the Sakyans, who went forth from the Sakyan clan. Now a good report of that blessed Gotama has been spread to this effect.
朋友，我係跟一位叫沙門喬達摩，係釋家族嘅兒子，咁我係跟佢出家。而呢位喬達摩尊師呢，佢有好好嘅聲譽，到處都傳播嘅，係。
The Blessed One is accomplished, fully awakened, perfect in true knowledge and conduct, sublime, knower of worlds, incomparable leader of persons to be tamed.
呢個呢，就係佛陀9個名號，就係呢位世尊係阿羅漢，遍正覺者，明行足具足者，善逝世間解，調御丈夫，天人師佛陀世尊。
Teacher of gods and humans, awakened and blessed.
佢係天人師佛陀世尊。
I have gone forth under the Blessed One. That Blessed One is my teacher. I profess the Dhamma of the Blessed One.
我跟呢位世尊出家嘅，世尊呢就係我個大師傅，我係選擇世尊嘅法而出家。
But monk, where is that Blessed One accomplished and fully awakened now living?
佛陀就問佢朋友，咁呢位世尊阿羅漢遍正覺者係住喺邊呢？
There is, friend, a city in the northern country named Sawati.
朋友，佢係住喺舍利城北邊嘅地方，一個城鎮。
The Blessed One, accomplished and fully awakened, is now living there.
嗰位世尊阿羅漢遍正覺者係住喺嗰度。
But monk, have you ever seen the Blessed One before? Would you recognize him if you saw him?
咁朋友世尊就問：你見過呢位世尊未啊？如果你見到佢，你認唔認得佢啊？
No, friend, I've never seen the Blessed One before, nor would I recognize him if I saw him.
朋友，我係從來冇見過呢位世尊，所以我就算見到佢都唔認得佢嘅。
Then the Blessed One thought, this clansman has gone forth from the home life into homelessness under me.
咁世尊就咁諗：如果呢個善男子係跟我出家話，咁我就想趁過呢個機會教一教佢嘅法啦。
Suppose I were to teach him the Dhamma.
我就去教導佢嘅法。
So the Blessed One addressed the Venerable Pukusati thus.
咁嗰陣時，世尊就同Pukusati 就咁講啦。
Monk, I will teach you the Dhamma. Listen and attend closely to what I shall say.
比丘，我而家呢想教導你一個法，你要聽，你要好好作意 ，pay attention。我而家講啦。
Yes, friend, the Venerable Pukusati replied.
咁普古薩地話：好啊，是的，朋友。
The Blessed One said this.
佛陀就咁講。
Monk, this person consists of 6 elements, 6 bases of contact, and 18 kinds of mental exploration.
比丘咁喺呢個世上呢，我哋有所謂6界6觸處18界，就係個精神活動。
And he has 4 foundations.
我哋需要有4種嘅依處。
The tides of conceiving do not sweep over one who stands on these foundations.
而當我哋呢依住呢個4個依處嘅話，我哋個思想個思續流呢就唔會轉生起。
And when the tides of conceiving no longer sweep over him, he is called a sage at peace.
當我哋個思續流即係成日諗嘢嗰個呢，唔再轉生起嘅話呢，佢係被稱為寂靜的牟利。
One should not neglect wisdom.
我哋呢就唔應該去忽視嗰個智慧。
Should preserve truth.
應該呢守衞所謂嘅實相。
Should cultivate relinquishment.
應該呢係增強我哋呢個咁嘅氣離嘅咁嘅動作。
That means cultivate the practice of letting go of craving. 6
我哋
R's.
呢要學習係點樣去 let go 即係放下我哋嘅貪着嗰個就即係6 R 啦。
And should train for peace.
然後呢，我哋學習歸於寂靜。
This is the summary of the exposition of 6 elements.
呢個呢係我哋講呢個世間一切嘅嗰個咁嘅精神領域個分別嘅總説。
Monk, this person should consist of 6 elements.
比丘我哋呢度呢係有6界。
So it was said, and with reference to what was this said?
咁乜嘢係6界呢？
There are the earth element, the water element, the fire element, the air element, the space element, and the consciousness element.
6界呢分別係地、水、火、風、空、色。
So it was with reference to this that it was said.
6界就係咁樣啦。
Monk, this person consists of 6 elements.
呢個呢就係6界啦。
Monk, this person consists of 6 bases of contact.
比丘亦都我哋要知道呢個世間有6觸處，有6種觸處。
So it was said, and with reference to what was this said?
咁究竟聯繫咗啲乜嘢呢？咁
There are the base of eye contact, the base of ear contact, the base of nose contact, the base of tongue contact, the base of body contact, and the base of mind contact.
嗰個6觸處呢，分別就係我哋好似個6層係眼、耳、鼻、舌、身、意、身色色即係意啦。
So it was with reference to this that it was said, Monk, this person consists of 6 bases of contact.
咁我哋呢身體嘅人呢，就係有6觸處。
Monk, this person consists of 18 kinds of mental exploration.
比丘，我哋亦都同時間有18種嘅精神領域。
So it was said, and with reference to what was this said?
咁源於乜嘢有呢樣嘢呢？
On seeing a form with the eye, one explores a form productive of joy.
當我哋眼見到色咁呢喺嗰度，當我哋碰觸到嗰陣嗰個眼探索到色嗰陣，就會可能產生呢個喜悅。
One explores a form productive of grief.
亦可能呢係會產生憂傷。
One explores a form productive of equanimity.
亦都可能呢產生一個平靜等持嘅。
On hearing a sound with the ear.
當個耳仔聽到聲音之後呢，
On smelling an odor with the nose.
或者係個鼻聞到氣
On
味
tasting a flavor with the tongue.
或者個脷感知到個味覺啦，
On touching a tangible with the body.
或者身體有所觸感嘅話，
On cognizing a mind object with mind.
或者喺個意識知道個法後，
One explores a mind object productive of joy.
當我哋呢接觸到個法時，可能會產生一個喜悅，
One explores a mind productive of grief.
亦同時或者會產生一個憂傷。
One explores a mind productive of equanimity.
或者同時係會產生一個平靜嗰個咁嘅等持心。
So it was with reference to this that it was said, monk, this person consists of 18 kinds of mental exploration.
就係由於咁有6種喜悅、6種憂傷、6種平靜等持嘅話，就總共有18種呢個精神層面嘅心法。
Monk, this person has 4 foundations, so it was said.
比丘，我哋呢亦都有4種嘅依處。
And with reference to what was this said?
咁源於乜嘢可以咁講呢？
There are the foundation of wisdom,
我哋有智慧嘅依處，
the foundation of truth,
實相嘅依處，
the foundation of relinquishment,
捨斷嘅依處，
and the foundation of peace, so it was
寂靜嘅
said.
依處係咁樣講法。
With reference to what was this said?
就係咁樣講，就由於呢4種依處。
Monk, this person has 4 foundations.
比丘就係呢4種依處。
One should not neglect wisdom,
我哋唔應該係忽視呢個智慧，
should preserve truth,
應該守護真實實相，
should cultivate relinquishment,
應該呢係喺度培育一個捨離心，
and should train for peace.
應該呢係培育一個寂靜。
So it was said, and with reference to what was this said?
源於咁，我哋係咁樣講。
How, monk, does one neglect wisdom?
比丘係點樣唔好忽略呢個智慧呢？
There are these 6 elements.
有呢6界，
The earth element, the water element,
水、
the fire element,
火、
the air element,
風、
and space element,
風、
and the consciousness element.
色。
What, monk, is the earth element?
乜嘢地界呢？
The earth element may be either internal or external.
地界呢有係身內同埋身外嘅。
What is the internal earth element?
乜嘢係身內嘅地界呢？
Whatever internally belonging to oneself is solid, solidified, craved, and clung to.
喺你個身入邊呢，逢親啲硬粗凝固嗰啲咁嘅疏離，即係執取嘅嘢。
That is head hairs, body hairs, nails, teeth, skin, flesh, sinew, bones, bone marrow, kidneys, heart, liver, diaphragm, spleen, lungs, intestines, mesentery, contents of the stomach, feces, or whatever else internally belonging to oneself is solid, solidified, craved, and clung to.
我哋身體入邊啦，我哋能碰觸到嘅器官啦，例如頭髮體毛指甲牙齒皮膚我哋嘅肌肉筋骨骼骨髓腎心嗰啲五臟六腑包括腸肺橫膈膜 所以所有入邊有纖維性嘅嘢，包括我哋個胃同埋個糞便，總之入邊喺我哋身入邊粗嘅、硬嘅、凝固嘅有纖維性嘅嘢都係。
This is called the internal earth element.
呢個呢，就係我哋身內嘅地界。
Now, both the internal earth element and external earth element are simply earth element.
咁啊，身內嘅地界呢，同出邊嘅地界呢，其實係無異無別，都係一樣係地界。
And that should be seen as it actually is with proper wisdom thus.
我哋應該用正確嘅智慧嚟睇，如實咁觀照。
This is not mine. This I am not. This is not myself.
呢個唔係我嘅，我唔係呢個，而呢個唔係真我。
When one sees it thus as it actually is with proper wisdom, one becomes disenchanted with the earth element and allows the mind to be dispassionate towards the earth element.
若果我哋能夠用一個正確嘅智慧，如實咁去觀照呢啲咁嘅內臟一切嘅嘢，我哋喺呢個地界上入邊厭離，而喺個心上邊唔會再去執着呢啲咁嘅嘢。
Now we're going to go over to the sutta called the Greater Discourse of Advice to Rahula.
而家我哋去到呢62阿佛陀呢同Rahula佢個仔開示嘅一個經文，喺page 21。
Rahula was the Buddha's son.
Rahula 呢就係我哋佛陀嘅兒子。
Rahula developed meditation that is like the earth.
Rahula 我哋而家呢打坐呢要如同嗰個地界咁樣打坐。
For when you develop meditation that is like the earth,
當你呢如實咁喺地界打坐嘅話
arisen agreeable and disagreeable contacts will not invade your mind and remain.
咁我哋呢就唔會為咗呢啲嘢呢而生起呢死啦！我唔知嗰段嘢喺邊度添。
Not invade your mind and remain is.
I have to look for the page。我知道21個地喺邊嗰個水嚟嘅啫嘛。水上高係地咁佢係話即係如實咁睇到呢個地界咁我哋呢就唔會執取佢喺邊度水上邊上高嗰度。So we cannot locate this one。係咪喺啟無止格嗰度Rahula meditation is like the earth。Rahula 點解冇咗呢段嘅唔得意嘅？好啦，我直接用英文去翻譯佢啦。睇揾唔到個地嘅，預實都揾唔到個地嘅。第一段你之前有講呢指甲下次講完咯，即係之後再開個再講嗰時就已經冇啦。凡自身內嘅地界係咪外部的地界都是地界係咪我應該以正確這個位去如實看到。英文本我哋係26 page point 13。我冇中文不過唔緊要啦，佢而家講緊嘢。Bhante, can you repeat this one? Because in my translation I missed this part. Can you repeat? So I just translate like that.
What?
The earth element. Rahula
developed meditation that is like the earth.
我哋咧Bhavana，你咧就係如實咁樣睇呢個地啦、地界啦。
When you develop meditation that is like the earth, arisen agreeable and disagreeable contacts will not invade your mind and remain.
當你係就算同意或者唔同意任何嘅嘢，你都唔好執着喺呢個心，同埋咧就唔好停留喺度。
Invade your mind and remain is an important statement.
叫你唔好停留喺呢個心度，呢個咧係一個好重要嘅一個 statement， 即係呢個教法。
When you have pain arise in your body,
當你咧有呢個痛喺你個身體產生嗰陣，
you don't like that.
你一定係唔中意嘅。
And you feed that with your attention.
然後咧，你咧就好似餵佢咁一路咁樣喺度專注住、關照住呢個痛。
And when you feed it, what happens?
當你咧係喺度餵佢咁餵佢會有咩發生咧
It gets bigger and more intense.
佢會咧越嚟越痛，同埋咧越嚟越會增大增強。
In other words, you're feeding it so it will invade your mind and remain.
咁咧你就 invade 你個心喺嗰度，然後咧你就會停留喺嗰度。
If you don't want that pain to stay there, then stop feeding it with your attention.
係啊，你如果咧想唔痛嘅話，你就千祈唔好咧去關注住呢樣嘢。
That way it will not invade your mind and remain.
咁咧就係 will not invade your mind， 即係你係唔會係執持騙取你嘅心。
Do you understand what I just said?
明唔明白啊？唔好執住痛，好痛好痛啊！打唔到啦，打唔到坐啊！
A lot of you today were complaining about pain.
今日咧好多人咧小參咧投訴話好痛啊，坐唔落啦。
And you all heard me say the same thing.
個個都聽到佢講同一嘅嘢。
If you're really using the 6 R's, the second R is don't keep your attention on it.
如果你哋懂得真係用6 R，第二個 R 咧就係 release， 即係叫你唔好理會，唔好去 pay attention， 唔好作意喺嗰度。
Let it be and relax.
咁咧就由佢喺度relax 放鬆放下佢。
Eventually that pain will fade away and not bother you ever again.
其實嗰啲痛咧係過眼嘅啫，你一起身佢就冇㗎，佢唔會再停留喺度。
Now I want you to understand that I really, really do understand pain.
佢真係明白乜嘢係痛嘅，佢都打坐咗咁多年。
I did a kind of meditation that was so painful that it brought tears to my face.
佢痛到咧流眼淚㗎。
It was like somebody took a red-hot needle and stuck it in the middle of my head.
好似個辣熱咗啲針咧拮落去個頭度咁。
It was very painful.
好痛好痛。
That's why I don't do that meditation anymore.
所以佢話：哎呀，嗰種禪修佢都唔再做，亦都唔會教你哋。
So I do understand pain.
佢真係會明白你哋啲痛嘅。
Now there's sometimes that pain can arise because of past actions.
但係咧，有時啲痛咧係你以前所作嘅業而產生嘅。
It didn't come up all that often, but when it did, it was extreme pain.
有時咧唔係成日發生嘅，但係一發生咧，佢就真係好極端痛嘅。
It's like somebody took a knife and they stabbed me in the arm and they cut down and then they turned the blade.
哇！好似把刀咧刺落佢個手踭嗰個手臂，然後再撩一撩佢咁，好痛。
Now I had teachers that said it's good to have pain.
有老師話：喂，好喎，痛先正喎。
Oh, it's great for you because your mind stays on it.
咁樣你個心先會專注喺嗰度啊嘛。
And the problem with that is
問題咧就係
the more you keep your attention on the pain, the bigger it gets and more painful it gets.
問題你越專注喺個位置入邊，嗰個痛咧係更加強烈。
So I understand your pains.
我明白你哋嘅痛㗎。
This one lasted for 15 years.
哇！我手臂個痛咧，痛咗15年啦。
When I got done with meditation, I couldn't even pick my arm up.
佢啊慘到啊，連個手都抬唔起。
That's how painful it was.
咁你諗下有幾痛？
So don't complain to me about pain. Be thankful that it's there. It's teaching you a lesson.
千祈唔好投訴佢話你哋好痛好痛啊！呢個其實你哋係一個經驗嚟嘅。
And that lesson is trust your 6 R's.
你要呢個教育就係話，你
It
要
will
相信6R 嘅作用。
it will go away by itself.
佢會自己
Honest.
消失嘅。老實講。
I can pick my arm up now. No
睇
problem.
下佢都可以抬起手臂嘅。
Okay.
係22頁啊！我揾到啦呢個段，22頁尾段。
Just as people throw clean things and dirty things, excrement, urine, spittle, pus, and blood on the earth.
就猶如咧有啲人咧喺個地下度抌啲清淨嘅嘢、唔清淨嘅嘢，嗰啲糞便嘅嘢、嗰啲咁嘅尿液嘅嘢，或者啲口水嘅嘢，或者啲膿汁嘅嘢。
And the earth is not repelled and disgusted because of that.
但係咧地咧佢係一樣照樣收納，唔會有任何嘅厭惡，唔會有惡，唔會有個參差嘅心。
Rahula developed meditation that is like the earth.
你哋咧話 Rahula， 請你收集如同好似地呢個咁嘅收集啦。
For when you develop meditation that is like the earth, arisen agreeable and disagreeable contacts will not invade your mind and remain.
當你如實咁樣好似如同地呢個咁嘅收集嘅話，就算你個心起到任何合意或者唔滿意嘅嘢咧，都唔會讓你個心執取到。
There are some people that teach meditation that pain is very good for you.
有啲人咧教你哎呀痛先對你禪修好啊。
I don't agree.
我都唔同意呢個講法。
Okay. Okay, we've done that one. What, monks, is the water element?
我哋咧又翻去16頁啦，可能係。
The water element may be either internal or external.
乜嘢係水界咧？水界咧就係個身內同埋有外同埋內。
What is the internal water element?
乜嘢係內部嘅水界啊？
Whatever internally belonging to oneself
而喺身內
is water, watery, craved, and clung to.
同水有關嘅嘢。
You done?
Done.
Okay.
廣東話快好多。
That is bile, phlegm, pus, blood, sweat, fat, tears, grease, spittle, snot, oil of the joints, urine, or whatever else internally belonging to oneself is water, watery, craved, and clung to.
咁身內入邊，例如咩水嘅嘢咧？膽汁啦、痰啦、膿啦、血啦、汗啦、脂肪啦、眼淚啦、油脂啦、唾液啦、鼻涕啦、關節液啦、尿啦，任何喺呢個身內入邊流動性嘅，即係呢個都係同水有關。
So I see the look on some people's faces that there's some disgust in that.
睇到啦，你哋啲人。
This meditation is for helping monks overcome lust in their mind.
呢個咁嘅禪修咧，係幫你哋咧，或者幫嗰啲出家男性嘅出家咧，就係免除嗰種慾嗰種慾色慾啊。
Many women are very attached to their hair.
女性好中意咧頭髮好靚。
Oh, how beautiful.
真係靚啊！一定要保
How
持得靚嘅。
beautiful is some hair if I throw it in your soup?
如果話你頭髮放咗落呢啲湯度啊，你會唔會中意啊？
Or if I just let it stay out by itself for a period of time and then smell it?
或者擺耐少少，擺喺外邊，你聞下睇下你中唔中意？
See,
你
how
明唔明
beautiful is the smell of pus?
話你有冇聞到睇到啲靚嘅 pus 係咩啊？
Oh, you have wonderful smelling pus. Doesn't that make lust come up in your mind?
你又唔會再有任何嗰啲咁嘅色貪啦，係咪睇到呢啲嘢？
This is for mainly for monks to keep balance in their mind.
For him. Ven Obhasa. For young monk, not for Bhante, I think.
Okay. Now, both the internal water element and the external water element are simply water element.
其實內在入邊嘅水界同外嘅水界都係水界，係無異無別嘅。
And that should be seen as it actually is with proper wisdom thus.
應該呢，我哋係用正確嘅智慧如實咁觀照。
This is not mine, this I am not, this is not myself.
呢個呢唔係我嘅，我唔係呢樣，亦都唔係我嘅真我。
When one sees it thus as it actually is with proper wisdom, one becomes disenchanted with the water element.
咁我哋呢，如果正確嘅智慧如實咁觀照嘅話，佢喺呢個水界入邊，佢就會有厭離。
And allows the mind to be dispassionate towards the water element.
個心呢唔會因為呢個水界任何嘅貪染會離開呢個貪染。
Rahula developed
去翻22
meditation.
頁。I have to change the pages. I have to remind it. Now it's page 22nd. Yes, please.
Okay. Rahula developed meditation that is like water.
羅睺羅啊，你就要收集好似同水嘅收集一樣。
For when you develop meditation that is like water, arisen agreeable and disagreeable contacts will not invade your mind and remain.
如果你明白如實咁樣睇到呢個水呢個集呢個咁嘅收集嘅話，你唔會因為你生起嘅或者合意或者唔合意而去執取你個心。
Now, water is very adaptable.
其實咧水咧係好適用性嘅。
If you put water in a glass, it takes that shape.
水咧可以所以我哋話個水咧有嗰個柔軟度，可以fit in 任何嘅
If you put water in a big pot, then it takes that shape.
咁你咁擺咩盤落去，佢都會同你 fill in 嘅，都會
Now, when water is going downhill in a stream, if it hits a rock, what does it do? Does it try to push that rock out of the way?
係咯，啲水如果碰到石頭嗰陣咧，佢會點做咧？佢唔會逼嗰啲石頭走噶嘛。
No, it adapts itself like water, and then it goes around it and continues down.
水咧咁佢就會透過呢個咁嘅石頭嗰個阻阻，但係佢轉個彎
It doesn't fight with it. It doesn't try to change it. It just allows that to be like that.
佢唔會同呢個石頭抗爭佢會咧好順暢咁樣轉個彎咁流走。
Make your mind like water.
你個心咧如一個水一樣。
Pain comes up in your body. Let it be there. Let your mind just go around it and continue on down.
痛嗰陣咧就你個心就如個水咁就流個偏向咁樣流走。
Don't fight with it. Don't resist it. Don't hate it.
唔好抗拒佢，亦都唔好話憎恨佢，或者去點樣同佢鬥爭。
Pain arises whenever it's appropriate for it to arise.
痛咧，佢係喺個機緣咧係即係配合到佢就一定係
What
會
you
產生。
do with pain when it arises dictates what's going to happen in the future.
嗰啲痛係點樣生起嘅？其實咧係可以表達到你將會發生咩事。
If you fight with it,
如果你係抗拒佢嘅話咧，
if you try to change it,
你想改變佢咧，
if you try to make it different than it is,
你想話令到佢係啲唔同嘅嘢咩？
you're fighting with the truth.
你咧從真實咧係抗拒。
The truth is, it is there.
真實咧個事實就係佢就喺嗰度啊嘛。
And it's okay for it to be there.
係 OK 嘅，讓佢喺嗰度。
It has to be okay because that's the truth.
咁一定係要 OK 啦，因為佢嗰個係事實嚟㗎嘛。
So if you try to change it and make it different and fight with it, you're fighting with the truth and you're causing yourself more pain.
你想改變佢同佢抗爭，其實你同個事實抗爭，你會更加痛，更加產生煩惱。
Be like water. It doesn't fight with a rock.
你當水咁啦，唔會同石頭去鬥爭㗎嘛。
It doesn't try to change that rock.
你唔會係想轉變個石頭㗎嘛。
It doesn't hate that rock.
你唔會憎恨呢個石頭
It
㗎
just
嘛。
allows it to be and go around.
你接受呢樣嘢，然後就咁喺嗰度咁咪兜過去咯。
Now, if you have a pain arise, then you allow that feeling to be there by itself.
痛記得啦，痛生起嗰陣容許呢個痛喺嗰度，就喺嗰度。
You don't fight with it.
唔好抗爭，
You don't try to change it or make it different than it is.
唔好改變佢或者想佢咧變成唔同嘅嘢。
And when you do that,
當你咁做嘅話，
the pain becomes less and the water flows easily.
嗰啲痛會消失，慢慢消失，然後咧你會好似水咁流過，咁好易嘅咋。
Let your mind be like water, please.
你讓你個心成為水嘅咁樣。
Then that suffering, that pain goes away by itself.
咁呢個痛同埋呢個咁嘅感受咧，佢會慢慢
And your mind becomes more pure.
你個心咧越嚟越清淨，
Your mind becomes more alert.
你個心咧越嚟越有覺察性，
And you naturally start to be happier.
你更加開心。
So let your mind be like water, please.
記住個心如水一樣啊！
You'll see it makes everything much easier when you do this.
你咁樣處理任何事都會容易嘅，如同水一樣。
So that pain will not invade your mind and remain.
咁個痛咧，亦都唔會咧係停留喺呢個心度。
Now, just as people wash clean things and dirty things,
就猶如咧，佢哋喺水中清洗
excrement, urine, spittle, pus, and blood and water.
咁咧有清淨啊、不清淨啊，有尿便啊、尿液啊咁樣。
And the water is not repelled and disgusted because of that.
水咧就唔會因此而厭惡。
Nothing to fight with, nothing to argue with. Just allow that water to flow.
唔好鬥爭唔好去辯駁就只係容許佢喺嗰度。
Rahula, develop meditation that is like water.
請你咧禪修如同水一樣啦。
For when you develop meditation that is like water, arisen agreeable and disagreeable contacts will not invade your mind and remain.
係啦，Rahula，如果你如水咁樣去收集嘅話咧，你咧生起嘅合意或者唔合意嘅感覺，你都唔會係停留喺呢個心嗰度。
Okay, go back.
Go back 17頁啊。
What monk is the fire element?
比丘係乜嘢係火界啊？
The fire element may be either internal or external.
火界係 有身內嘅，亦都有外在嘅。
What is the internal fire element?
乜嘢係身內嘅火界呢？
Whatever internally belonging to oneself is fire, fiery, craved and clung to.
喺內在入邊同火，即係同溫度有關嘅。
That is that by which one is warmed,
譬如有個熱能咧，
ages,
被消化嘅係，
and is consumed.
被燃燒嘅，同埋被呢個消耗嘅。
And that by which what is eaten, drunk, consumed, and tasted gets completely digested.
其實呢個就係我哋嘅消化系統啦。你食落嚟、飲落嚟咀嚼嘅品嚐嘅係喺入邊全部消化嘅嘢。
Or whatever else internally belonging to oneself is fire, fiery, claved and clung to.
即係或者係任何同呢個身內同呢個火有關嘅嘢。
This is called the internal fire element.
呢啲都統稱為一個身內嘅火界。
Now both the internal fire element and the external fire element are simply fire element.
身內嘅火界同身外嘅火界其實都係火界，無異無別。
And that should be seen as it actually is with proper wisdom thus.
應該咧，我哋用正確嘅智慧，如實去觀照佢。
This is not mine, this I am not, this is not myself.
呢個唔係我嘅，我唔係咁嘅，呢個唔係我嘅真我。
When one sees it thus as it actually is with proper wisdom, one becomes disenchanted with the fire element and allows the mind to be dispassionate towards the fire element.
用呢個正確嘅智慧如實去睇佢嘅話咧，佢會喺個火界上面厭離，亦都咧令到個心喺呢個火界上咧係離開一個貪着。
Okay, go back to the other one.
翻返去廿二頁嘅火嗰度，羅喉羅火，唔係23啦，今次23頁啊，23頁。
Okay. Rahula developed meditation that is like fire.
Rahula， 請你咧禪修嗰陣如同火嘅收集。
Oh, I just did that, didn't I?
No, you
Excuse
just
me.
finished the water.
Oh, okay. When you develop meditation that is like fire, arisen agreeable and disagreeable contacts will not invade your mind and remain.
當你如實咁好似火咁收集嘅話，你生起合意或者唔合意嘅觸覺都唔會遍佈喺呢個心執取住嘅。
Just as people burn clean things and dirty things, excrement, urine, spittle, pus, and blood in fire.
就猶如咧嗰啲火燒清淨嘅、唔清淨嘅糞便、尿液、唾液個膿汁、血液。
And the fire is not repelled and disgusted because of that.
火咧就唔會因此咧而厭惡或者生起一種厭惡性愧恥性嘅。
So too Rahula developed meditation that is like fire.
Rahula， 請你咧禪修嗰陣就如同火咁去收集。
For when you develop meditation that is like fire, arisen agreeable and disagreeable contacts will not invade your mind and remain.
當你如實咁樣好似火咁收集你生起嘅合意或者唔合意嘅感覺，佢都唔會係變成一個執取性嘅一個心理狀態。
Okay, go back.
Go back， 翻去17。
Section number 17, if you need that.
17頁啊。
Okay.
Yes, please. Okay.
What, monk, is the air element? The air
你
element.
有乜嘢係風界啊？
The air element may be either internal or external.
風界係身內又有，身外又有。
What is the internal air element?
身內嘅風界係乜嘢呢？
Whatever internally belonging to oneself is airy, claved, and clung to.
咁呢喺個身內自身嘅身內同風同埋風有關嘅。
That is upgoing winds, downgoing winds, winds in the belly, winds in the bowels, winds that course through the limbs, the in-breath and out-breath, or whatever else internally belonging to oneself is airy, air, and craved and clung to. That is called the internal air element.
佢有上行風啦、下行風啦、腹部嘅風啦、腹腔嘅風啦，或者我四肢隨行嘅風啦，又有呼吸啦。其實喺個身內，我哋自身同風有關嘅，都一律叫為風界。
Now, both the internal air element and external air element are simply air element.
其實身內同埋身外嘅風界其實都係風界，無異無別。
And that should be seen as it actually is with proper wisdom thus.
應該用正確嘅智慧嚟如實觀照佢。
This is not mine. This I am not. This is not myself.
呢個呢唔係我嘅，我唔係呢個，亦都唔係真我。
When one sees this thus as it actually is with proper wisdom, one becomes disenchanted with the air element and allows the mind to be dispassionate towards the air element.
以呢個正確嘅智慧如實觀照後，你喺呢個風界上會厭離，同埋呢令個心喺個風界上遠離呢個貪着。
Okay, go back.
Go back 23.
Section 16.
The air element, yeah?
The air element.
23頁。Yes, 23頁，23頁。
You ready?
Yes, yeah.
Rahula, develop meditation that is like the air.
Rahula，請你收集禪修如同風一樣。
For when you develop meditation that is like the air, arisen agreeable and disagreeable contacts will not invade your mind and remain.
當你嘅禪修就如同風咁嘅收集嘅話呢，你生起嘅合意或者唔合意嘅感覺都唔會令到你執取住喺你個心度。
Just as the air blows on clean things and dirty things, on excrement, spittle, urine, pus, and blood, and the air element is not repelled and disgusted because of that.
如同啲風就算佢吹到係清淨嘅，或者唔清淨嘅，或者沾滿尿便嘅，或者屎尿完全污糟邋遢嗰啲口唾嗰啲濃汁血液嘅風，唔會因此而會感覺到厭惡一個羞辱或者一種惡嘅即係唔中意嘅感覺。
So too, Rahula, develop meditation that is like the air.
所以Rahula，你要呢喺個禪修度如同風一樣。
For when you develop meditation that is like the air, arisen and agreeable and disagreeable contacts will not invade your mind and remain.
所以羅睺羅，你而家咁如同嗰個風嘅收集呢，你生起嘅合意或者唔合意嘅感觸呢，係唔會延續喺你個心度執取。
Okay, go back.
Go back。又翻轉頭，我哋而家呢個17嗰度 而家講到虛空啦。
Space element.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Bhante.
What, monk, is the space element?
比丘乜嘢係空界、虛空界啊？
The space element may be either internal or external.
虛空界咧係有身內嘅或者身外嘅。
What is the internal space element?
係身內係咩虛空界咧？
Whatever internally belonging to oneself is space, spatial, craved and clung to.
喺身內咧係乜嘢關於虛空嘅同虛空有關嘅都係。
That is the holes of the ears,
即係個鼻哥窿啦，
the nostrils, the door of the mouth, and that aperture whereby what is eaten, drunk, consumed, and tasted gets swallowed.
同啲空間有關嘅個耳仔啊、個鼻窿啊、個口腔啊、食道啊，讓啲食物食落去而可以吞落去嘅咁嘅空間啊咁。
And where it collects, and whereby it is excreted from below, or whatever else internally belonging to oneself is space, spatial, craved and clung to. This is called the internal space
而且
element.
所食嘅、所嘗嘅入咗去嘅食物啊、飲料啊，係停留嘅地方啊，有呢個空間而俾佢排出去咁個身外身內都係一個空間虛空。咁呢個虛空唔係我哋話個空性嘅空，係空間空間嗰個空。
Now both the internal space element and the external space element are simply space element.
咁身外同身內嗰啲咁嘅空間都係同樣一樣空間，冇分別。
That should be seen as it actually is with proper wisdom thus.
我哋咧如實用一個正確嘅智慧嚟觀照佢。
This is not mine, this I am not, this is not myself.
呢樣唔係我嘅，我唔係咁嘅，亦都唔係真我。
When one sees it thus as it actually is with proper wisdom, one becomes disenchanted with the space element and allows the mind to be dispassionate towards the space element.
用呢個正確嘅智慧去觀照，如實觀照嘅話，咁佢喺呢個空間上咧就產生厭離，亦都個心喺呢個虛空界上咧離開呢個貪厭。
Now this next part, while you're looking for it,
Continue.
is the space element. Now this is talking directly about the mental meditation, not body.
而家咧講到呢個虛空咧，就係已經我哋升咗上去形成咧我哋叫無色界嗰個地域啦。
Rahula, develop meditation that is like space.
Rahula，你而家禪修咧，如同呢個虛空咁樣收集。
For when you develop meditation that is like space, arisen agreeable and disagreeable contacts will not invade your mind and remain.
你係咁樣收集嘅話，你已經生起嘅合意或者唔合意嘅觸感，唔會繼續係執取住喺你個心度。
What's an agreeable contact with your mind? Pleasant feeling, huh?
Yes.
Joy, happy.
你啲開心。
What is disagreeable? Unhappy, do not like.
唔中意唔
So when
開心
these contacts, you keep your attention on them, they invade your mind and they stay.
係你執住咗咧你就會就留咗喺度。
Okay. Just as space is not established anywhere,
咁猶如虛空喺任何地方都唔會立住嘅。
so too Rahula, develop meditation that is like space.
Rahula， 你而家禪修如同虛空嘅禪修一樣。
For when you develop meditation that is like space, arisen agreeable and disagreeable contacts will not invade your mind and remain.
咁你身起嘅合意或者唔合意嘅觸感呢，都唔會延遲執取住喺你個心度。
Rahula developed meditation on loving kindness.
Rahula，你要收集慈心啊！
For when you develop meditation on loving kindness, any ill will not invade your mind.
當你收集呢個慈心嘅收集，咁啊所有啲敵意惡意呢，都會被捨斷。
Ill will be abandoned.
嗰啲惡意就會被捨斷。
Rahula developed meditation on compassion.
Rahula，你要收集個悲心啊！
For when you develop meditation on compassion, any cruelty will be abandoned.
當你收集呢個悲心嗰陣呢，你就唔會有啲加害人呢個心，佢會被捨斷。
Rahula developed meditation on joy.
Rahula，你要禪修一個喜悅嘅心啊！
For when you develop meditation on joy, any discontent will be abandoned.
當你收集呢個喜悅嘅心嘅話呢，你有啲不滿足不樂嘅都會被捨斷。
Rahula developed meditation on equanimity.
Rahula，你要收集一個等慈心、平靜嘅心。
For when you develop meditation on equanimity, any aversion will be abandoned.
當你收集呢個平靜等慈心嘅話，你所有嗰種仇恨呢，都會被捨斷。
Then there remain. Go back.
翻去之前17頁啊。
You ready?
Yes.
Okay. Then there remains only consciousness, purified and bright.
咁呢就靜落嚟呢，淨係一個好清靜嘅、好皎潔嘅色。
What one cognizes with that consciousness.
咁呢個色呢，能夠認識知乜嘢呢？咁
One cognizes this is pleasant.
佢識知樂。
One cognizes this is painful.
識知苦。
One cognizes this is neither painful nor pleasant.
識知不苦不樂。
Independence on a contact to be felt as pleasant.
當我哋有觸感就會生起呢個樂受。
There arises a pleasant feeling.
咁佢呢就會生起感受到樂受時。
When one feels a pleasant feeling, one understands I feel a pleasant feeling.
當佢有呢個樂受嗰陣，佢就了知到我感受到樂受。
One understands with the cessation of that same contact to be felt as pleasant.
而都同時了知到，就以呢個咁嘅感受樂嘅觸，佢都會消滅。
Its corresponding feeling, the pleasant feeling that arose in dependence on that contact to be felt as pleasant.
而對應佢嘅咁嘅受，源於呢個感受樂嘅觸而生起嘅樂受，佢都會熄滅，佢都會唔見。
The pleasant feeling ceases and subsides.
咁佢都會熄滅同埋會唔見。
Okay, now we're going to go down to another part here. Monk, just as from the contact and friction of two fire sticks,
下一段佢就話比丘，猶如兩塊木柴，咁咧佢哋兩個結合嗰陣摩擦就會生起熱嘅火。
heat is generated
生起火。
and fire is produced.
火咧就會因為呢樣嘢而生起。
With the separation and disjunction of those two fire sticks,
但如果將呢兩個木柴將佢分開嘅話，
the corresponding heat ceases and subsides.
咁應對佢嘅熱都會自動消失。
So too, independence on contact to be felt as pleasant, painful, or neither painful nor pleasant,
即係等於咁比丘，當我哋嘅感受被碰觸嗰陣咧，你會有生起個樂受，亦都感受到樂受，我了知呢個樂受。
there arises one of these three feelings.
佢會生起呢個咁嘅感覺。
One understands with the cessation of that same contact to be felt as pleasant, painful, or neither painful nor pleasant.
咁當佢呢個觸咧係熄滅嗰陣咧，應對佢嘅受，或者樂受或者不苦不樂受，佢都會熄滅。
Its corresponding feeling ceases and subsides.
應對佢嘅樂受個 feeling 咧，佢都會熄滅。
Then there remains only equanimity,
咁剩落嚟嘅咧就只係一個叫等持心，平靜嘅心 equanimity。
purified and bright, malleable, wieldy, and radiant.
剩落嚟咧就係一個好清靜、好皎潔嘅平靜心。
Suppose, monk, a skilled blacksmith or his apprentice were to prepare a furnace.
猶如咧比丘猶如一個熟練嘅金作，咁或者佢嘅弟子喺度鍛鍊緊。
Heat up the
煉金
crucible.
術。
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. Yes.
Heat up the crucible.
燒興個爐。
Take some gold with tongs and put it in the crucible.
就揾個鉗咧夾住個黃金擺落個爐口度。
From time to time he would blow on it.
佢係用個口咧，吹佢咯。
From time to time he would sprinkle water over it.
有時又灑下水咯。
From time to time he would just look on.
有時咧佢就喺度睇咯。
That gold would become refined, well refined, completely refined, faultless, rid of dross, malleable, wieldy, and radiant.
咁咧練到金咧，煉金嗰個黃金越嚟越完美，除去所有嘅雜質，變得柔軟，咁咧就可以做任何嘅用品。
Then whatever kind of ornament he wishes to make, whether a gold chain or earrings or necklace or a golden garland,
佢哋可以做出任何嘅裝飾物，就皇冠耳環頸鏈嗰啲金花環隨佢自己心意可以將啲金嚟變。
it would serve his purpose.
可以咧做足佢自己想做嘅嘢。
So too, monks, then there remains only equanimity, purified and bright, malleable, wieldy, and radiant.
咁咧進一步咧就剩落嚟呢個咁嘅平靜心、清靜嘅皎潔嘅平靜心，嗰個 equanimity 嚟作業。
He understands thus. I hear talking, and I really think that it's very rude to be talking right now.
即係千祈唔好咧去講嘢，當佢講經嗰陣咧，唔好係攝意交談嘅話，好唔禮貌。
If you can't listen properly, it's okay for you to leave.
佢話你聽得唔清楚或者唔咩嘅話，唔在意嘅話，可以離開。
He understands thus. If I were to do you want me to continue or you want to continue?
No, I just say you understand that.
Oh, okay. If I were to direct this equanimity, purified and bright, to the base of infinite space, and to develop mind accordingly, then this equanimity of mind supported by that base, craving and clinging to it, would remain for a very long time.
當我哋咧集中呢個咁嘅清淨皎潔嘅平靜心個等持三，佢會去到空無邊處。咁我哋咧就用呢個空無邊處嚟呢個收集禪修。我哋要依止佢我哋咧係停留喺嗰度，可以咧喺呢個平靜心入邊咧逗留好長好長嘅時間嘅。
If I were to direct this equanimity so purified and bright to the base of infinite consciousness, or to the base of nothingness, or to the base of neither perception nor non-perception.
咁用呢個咁嘅平靜嘅等持心咧，我哋其實可以指到去邊度咧？去到呢個色無邊處、無所有處同埋非想非非想處嘅。
And to develop my mind accordingly, then this equanimity of mind supported by that base, craving and clinging to it, would remain for a very long time.
當我哋咧執取呢個咁嘅皎潔平靜嘅心，如果係咁樣依止上去，我哋可以咧達到個長久性，長時間喺嗰度站立，即係喺嗰度 stay 喺嗰度。
He understands thus.
佢了知係咁。
If I were to direct this equanimity of mind so purified and bright to the base of infinite space, and to develop my mind accordingly, this would be conditioned.
但係你哋要知道咧咁我哋呢個用平靜心呢個 equanimity 平等心，可以去到呢個空無邊處收集，但係呢個都係一個有為法。
If I were to direct this equanimity so purified and bright to the base of neither or of infinite consciousness, to the base of nothingness, or to the base of neither perception nor non-perception,
咁了知如同正話所謂嗰個空無邊處色無邊處無所有處或者非想非非想處，其實呢啲一切都係有為法嚟嘅。
and to develop my mind accordingly, this would be conditioned.
呢個都係有為嘅，有為法嘅，有條件性嘅。
He does not form any condition or generate any volition tending towards either being or non-being.
佢對於有或者冇有呢樣嘢，佢都唔做作，又都唔會製造任何嘅思想。當佢對有或者冇有唔做作，唔製造思時，咁佢喺呢個世間上再唔會執取任何嘅事物。
Since he does not form any condition or generate any volitional tending towards either being or non-being, he does not crave and cling to anything in this world.
正話我講咗，其實我講咗咗，係佢當佢唔製造呢個執着嗰陣咧，佢喺呢個世間上唔會執取任何嘅事物。咁當佢不執取事物嗰陣咧，就唔會有所造作。
When he does not crave or cling, he is not agitated.
因為佢冇去緊張去執取呢個存在嘅話，佢就唔會好擾亂啦。
When he is not agitated, he personally attains nibbana.
當會有一個擾亂嘅心嘅話咧，佢就證得涅槃。
And that can happen for any one of you here on this retreat.
意思話喺呢個禪修入邊，你哋每個人都有呢個機會證得涅槃。
Now this is talking about an arahat.
而家係講緊呢個涅槃就係阿羅漢。
He understands thus.
佢了知道
Birth is destroyed, the holy life has been lived.
梵行已盡，出生已盡，梵行已立，所作已辦，不受後有。
What had to be done has been done. There is no more coming to any state of being.
所作已辦，即係所做嘅嘢要做完啦，咁而家呢，再唔會受到呢個輪迴嘅狀態。
If he feels a pleasant feeling, he understands it is impermanent.
當佢感受到樂受嗰陣，佢知道呢個係無常嘅。
There's no holding to it. There's no delight in it.
佢唔會執取佢，亦都話唔會唔中意佢。
If he feels a painful feeling, he understands it is impermanent.
當感受到苦受嗰陣，佢了知呢個受都係無常嘅。
There is no holding to it. There is no delight in it.
佢唔會咧執着佢，亦都唔會話唔中意佢。
If he feels a feeling, neither painful nor pleasant feeling, he understands it is impermanent. There is no holding to it. There is no delight in it.
當佢感受到不苦不樂受嗰陣，佢了知呢啲都係無常性嘅，佢唔會執取，亦都唔會話唔中意。
If he feels a pleasant feeling, he feels it in a detached way.
當佢感受到樂受嗰陣，佢感受佢，但係佢係遠離捨離呢個感受。
If he feels a painful feeling, he feels it in a detached way.
當佢感受到苦受嗰陣，佢同樣只係感受佢，但佢唔會咧佢唔會即係佢唔會 attach 落去嘅。
If he feels a neither painful nor pleasant feeling, he feels it in a detached way.
一樣咧，當佢有感受到不苦不樂受嗰陣，佢感受佢，但係佢係遠離呢個捆綁。
If he feels a feeling terminating with the body,
當佢感知到佢嘅感覺喺個身體度終止嘅，
he understands I feel a feeling terminating with the body.
佢明白佢而家感知到嗰個感受喺個身體上終止。
When he feels a feeling terminating with life,
當佢感知到個生命將會結束，
he understands I feel a feeling terminating with life.
咁佢了知我感受到呢個生命將會結束。
He understands on the dissolution of the body, with the ending of life, all that is felt being delighted in will become cool right there.
但你要知道，當我哋個身體咧解散嗰陣咧，隨住生命嘅浩盡喺嗰度，一切嘅感受，喜歡或者唔喜歡，都會變成清涼。
There is an expression in America that people say when they say something is good. They say, "Ah, this is cool."
美國咧佢哋有個俚語話：如果啲嘢正喎，佢點講？This is cool 咁啊，用 cool 清涼去代表正嘢。
That means there's no heat anymore. There's no dislike in it.
即係其實就係意思話冇再一種煩熱，冇呢個老熱咁平靜嘅心清涼嘅心。我哋有清涼地係咪？有呢個。
Okay?
Okay.
Monk, just as an oil lamp burns in dependence on oil and wick,
就猶如咧，我哋點油燈咧係靠啲油咧同埋個燈芯，咁個燈咧先至會被燃燒嘅。
and when the oil and wick are used up,
如果嗰個油同埋個燈芯係用盡嘅話，
if it does not get any more fuel, it is extinguished from the lack of fuel.
咁咧嗰啲燃料咧係冇嘅話咧，就等於冇食物，咁呢個油燈咧都自然熄滅嘅。
So too, when he feels a feeling terminating with the body and terminating with life,
咁當你哋感知到身體係將會終止嗰陣咧，佢了知到呢個身體咧係終止嘅。
he understands I feel a feeling terminating with the body and terminating with life.
當佢感受到生命終止呢個感受嗰陣，佢了知我感受到生命終止嘅感受。
He understands on the dissolution of the body with the ending of all life, all that is felt not being delighted in, will become cool right there.
佢了知以身體呢個崩解隨後生命嗰個耗盡喺嗰度，一切被感受嘅，中意或者唔中意都會成為一個清涼。
Therefore, a monk possessing this wisdom possesses the supreme foundation of wisdom.
因此呢個緣故呢，我哋個比丘應該有具備呢個咁嘅高尚嘅智慧，依止住呢個智慧。
For this monk is the supreme noble wisdom.
比丘呢個係一個最高嘅智慧嚟嘅。
Namely, the knowledge of the destruction of all suffering.
呢個呢係一切智將苦滅盡嘅一切智。
His deliverance being founded on truth is unshakable.
佢就能夠立住喺一個解脫不動嘅真實入邊。
For that which is false, monk, which has a deceptive nature, and that is true which has an undeceptive nature, and that is Nibbana.
比丘凡虛偽法者嗰啲係虛妄嘅，但係如果唔係虛偽嘅，呢個就係涅槃法。呢個涅槃法係真實法。
Isn't that cool?
哇！涅槃我係咪好酷咧？係清涼。你有冇成日聽清涼地菩薩摩訶薩就係講緊呢樣嘢，知道嘛？清涼地菩薩摩訶薩咪講緊呢個，聽得懂嗎？
Therefore, a monk possessing this truth possesses the supreme foundation of truth.
所有啦，比丘要具備呢個最高嘅真實嘅依止處呢個係一個最高嘅聖界嘅真實
For this monk is the supreme noble truth.
呢個我哋就係呢個所謂四聖諦最高嘅境界。
Namely Nibbana,
就係一個涅槃法。
which has an undeceptive nature.
呢個呢係無可抗拒嘅。
Okay, that's enough for tonight.
Yes, okay. 涅槃法，你哋每個人喺呢度都有經驗，可以有經驗到。
There's a lot of lessons in what I've given you today.
正話嗰個係一個好重要嘅經文，有好多你哋要學習嘅嘢。
There's an interesting thing that they're just discovering now.
有啲好得意嘅嘢，啱啱發現到嘅。
And that is, the more grateful you are, the more your mind becomes soft and very happy.
你越有一個感恩嘅心嘅話呢，你個人呢越容易達到一個快樂嘅境界。
I spent 12 years in Asia.
佢去咗亞洲12年。
When I got back to America, I was very grateful for a hot shower.
佢話：哇，去咗嗰度咁耐，翻嚟美國好開心有熱水沖涼。
Believe me, I was really grateful.
哇！真係開心到不得了，有熱水沖涼。
But what they're finding out is the more you are grateful, the happier your mind become. Your brain, your frontal lobe grows and gets bigger.
係啦，如果你有感恩心呢，你自然呢個心情帶動容易開心生活呢更加好嘅。
So then your mind tends to be more grateful and happy.
越有感恩心呢，相對呢又變返更加感恩，更加開心。
Be grateful for hindrances when they arise.
當你有障礙譬如話五蓋痛好多嘢諗嗰啲障礙五蓋都要感恩佢。
Why?
點解呢？
Because they're teaching you where your attachment is.
佢教導我哋，原來我哋執著咗啲乜嘢，所以變成我哋個五蓋。
So it's being your teacher.
係你個老師。
Hindrances are your best friend.
你哋啲五蓋啊，嗰啲修行嘅障礙都係你哋嘅最好朋友。
Because it teaches you how to purify your own mind.
由於呢個咁嘅逆緣咧，會教導你哋係怎樣去清純淨化你哋嘅身心。
So don't be dissatisfied. Don't be hard on your mind because it keeps on coming up with problems.
所以唔好對待自己好辛苦啊，好唔願意啊，好唔滿意啊，好乜嘢好煩惱啊，其實係一個好大嘅機會去進階嘅。
Be happy that they're there because of the lessons that you learned that are wonderful.
係啊，而家你學嘅嘢啊，係一個好好嘅經驗啊，出邊未必學到。
Now I'm very satisfied with most people that are here because of the hard work they are doing.
係啦，知道你哋做得好辛苦、好努力啊，好多謝你哋係咁努力去做。
I understand it's hard work.
係，即係都要好努力嘅。
I had to practice almost 20 years doing the wrong kind of meditation.
佢打坐咗20年咧，做咗啲錯嘅嘢。
And it was hard.
好辛苦啊嗰陣。
Because every time a pain came up, they said, put your attention right in the middle of it. Make it hurt more.
係之前痛嗰陣咧，嗰啲老師話：，你真係要而家完全專注喺呢個痛度啊，睇住呢個痛啊咁。
And being a good student, that's what I did.
咁佢做好學生啊，佢就係咁做咯。
I had 20 years of extreme pain.
20年啦，好痛啊！
But now I'm grateful for it.
而家我感恩佢哋。
Because I found a different way that doesn't hurt so much.
而家我就知道原來邊啲嘢得，邊啲嘢唔得啦。
And a lot of people, they say, oh, I'm so glad that you did that and I didn't have to.
哇！真係好啦，你做咗，我哋唔使再做埋呢啲咁無謂嘢啦。
And it's a real interesting thing. I'm very, very grateful for the Buddha for what he went through.
好多謝感恩咧，佛陀亦都係曾經嘗試好多個唔對勁嘅方法佢已經經歷咗。
He went through some very, very tough things.
啲好辛苦嘅咁嘅修行方法，佢都經過。
He starved his body until if he touched his stomach, he would touch his backbone.
係啦，佢斷食啦，餓到咧嗰啲骨頭咧喺前咧伸入去咧係掂到後邊嗰啲骨頭嘅。
And he suffered a lot.
係啦，佢捱盡好多個苦楚去修行。
He did a meditation where he would hold his breath.
佢曾經試過唔呼吸hold 住嗰個呼吸，唔呼吸。
For a long, long time.
好耐咁樣。
And then he would have sound coming in his ear and it disturbed his mind.
因為咁樣咧，好多聲喺佢耳仔度。
So he plugged his ears.
咁佢就塞住佢個耳仔。
And then he held his breath again. He had extreme pain in his head.
又喺度 hold 住嗰個呼吸，唔呼吸，哇，痛到好緊要。
And he found out that the air was still coming out of his mouth.
哇！原來個口都會入風嘅喎，入氣喎，咁佢就塞住佢啦，肯定。
So he cut his tongue.
哎呀，cut 咗佢條脷添啊自己。
Then he would swallow his tongue, so he didn't breathe.
將嗰個脷咧吞入去咧，等佢塞住，唔俾啲氣入嚟。
I'm very grateful that he did it and I didn't.
好彩佛陀試咗，佢就唔會再試啦。好彩啊，佛陀做咗。
And the pains got so intense that it was like being set on fire.
哇！痛到嗰種痛好似坐喺啲火度咁。
There were a lot of practices that he did like that I'm so thankful that I did not have to follow his steps.
佛陀咧就透過好多唔同嘅苦行咧因為咁佢就我哋笨爹就唔需要再去做呢啲嘢啦。
There's some people that even they try to act like they're being grateful to me for what I've went through. And they call me, you're the same as the Buddha.
有啲人就係感恩笨爹，因為佢做咗嘅嘢，我哋咧唔需要再做啦。佢話：哇，你如同佛陀咁樣。
Thank you for the compliment. No, I'm not even close.
唉，多謝你哋咁嘅讚歎我，但係我一啲都仲差好遠啊！
I had one teacher in Burma that was very, very tough.
我有一個老師喺 Burma， 好即係都幾嚴謹嘅。
If I told him that I had some slight pain,
如果我同
he would do this. Does it still hurt?
佢話：哇老師啊，我呢度痛啊！哇，佢仲會捶多佢幾下添啊！仲問佢咁啊痛唔痛啊？會唔會再痛啲添啊？咁
Then he said, how much sleep do you take a night?
你每晚瞓幾多啊？
He said, I go to bed at 11 o'clock, I get up at 4 o'clock.
我11點瞓，4點起身。
Why are you sleeping so much?
哇！你瞓咁多嘅，瞓耐㗎你。
Oh my.
哇！
Okay. So I cut down, I went to bed at midnight, I got up at 2 o'clock.
哇！結果咧，佢半夜先瞓2點鐘就起身啦。
Every day for 3 months.
3個月都係咁如是啫。
I didn't find any advantage of doing that. I was walking around being tired all the time.
其實佢太攰咧，咁樣對佢禪修一啲幫助都冇。
And when I left, I wound up sleeping for like 6 weeks.
佢離開嗰度，佢終於要瞓足6個禮拜。
I got up at 6 o'clock in the morning, I went out on alms round, I ate, I slept until 3 o'clock. Then I got up and I got a drink and walked around a little bit, then went back to sleep.
佢嗰陣時啊嘆啊6點去托缽，翻嚟8點，跟住又瞓啊嚇，瞓到3點鐘先至又再做啲嘢，咁又再瞓啊咁。
So I don't do that to you. Aren't you grateful?
我做咁啊，我對你哋咁樣啊 ，you have to be grateful 啊，即係話俾你聽，精神感恩啊，感恩我哋呢個師傅。
I'll tell you one more horror story that I went through.
哇！話俾你聽，恐怖事件喺佢身上發生啊！
I left Burma and came back.
離開緬甸，佢翻到嚟呢度。
The first day of the retreat, I went in to see the teacher.
第一個 retreat，佢去見個老師。
He said, how much do you sit? Meditate. I said, I meditate 1 hour, I walk for 1 hour. That was the standard thing to do.
喺嗰度咧就係1個鐘頭坐，1個鐘頭經行，1個鐘頭坐，係咁嘅，係標準式嘅禪修時間。
The next day I came in, he said, how long did you sit?
咁第日問嗰個禪師問佢：你坐咗幾耐啊？咁。
I sit for 2 hours, I walk for 1 hour.
我坐2個鐘，然後行1個鐘咁。
Good. Why don't you sit longer?
咁你可唔可以再坐耐啲啊？
Yeah, okay.
好啦。
I came in the next day, he said, how long did you sit? I sat for 3 hours, I walked for 1 hour. It was hard.
第二日咧，嗰個禪師又問佢：你坐幾耐啊？我坐3個鐘頭，然後行1個鐘頭。其實嗰陣時都好辛苦啦。
A lot of pain coming up.
好多痛啊！
Next day I walk in, he said, how long did you sit? And I
第二
said,
日話，
I sat for 4 hours, it was a killer.
哇！第二日咧，終於咧又問叫佢坐幾耐，佢話我坐咗4個鐘。不過咧，真係好似想殺人咁啊，好痛。
And he said, did you move?
你有冇喐啊？
I said, yeah, I had a lot of pain in my legs. I moved a lot.
我好痛啊！我咪周身喐啊嘛，梗係。
He said, don't move.
唔好喐啊！不要動。
So I said, okay.
Okay.
I came in the next day, I had tears coming down.
第
Big
二日
pain.
咧，第二日流眼淚啊，自己要喊啊！
How long did you sit? 4 hours? I never want to do that again.
咁老師話你坐4個鐘，佢話我唔會再繼續咁做啊。
Did you move?
你有冇
No.
喐？冇。No。
Then he said, "Why don't you sit longer?"
哇，可唔可以再坐耐少少啊？咁啊，
And it only took me 1 second to look at him and say, "No."
佢唔使1分鐘，佢就即刻同佢講唔可以啦。
But he kept on after me doing it more and more. And before long, I was sitting between 6 and 8 hours without moving.
最後咧 end up 咧嗰個禪師令佢坐到6至8個鐘唔可以喐嘅。
But there was extreme pain.
哇，痛到不得了。
And when they taught us how to walk, they taught us to walk very, very, very slowly.
佢教佢經行咧，佢就要行得好慢、好慢、好慢、好慢、好慢嗰種經行。
Maybe from that wall to the back wall.
由呢個牆去到嗰個牆要
We walk in a straight line.
用直線嚟行。
I pick up my foot.
咁啊隻腳
Lifting,
踭
lifting,
拎起
lifting,
拎
lifting,
起
lifting,
拎
lifting,
起
lifting.
拎起
Maybe 500 times I
500次
and then my foot is off the
拎起
ground.
拎起
Then
咁就上去
500 times
有500次
moving,
2
moving,
次
and
2
then
次
putting
2
my
次
foot
2次
down,
然後
down.
500次咁慢慢咁落去。
Okay, it took me 45 minutes to walk one time.
45分鐘先由嗰度行到去嗰度。
I had great concentration, but I also had big headache.
我有好強大嘅集中力，但係個頭好痛咧。
And that's why I have trouble walking now.
所以咧，而家隻腳都唔係好行得。
I developed blood clots.
佢咧有啲咁嘅血塞啊，塞咗啲血管啊，全
And
部。
it's still a problem to this day.
而家都冇辦法搞得好。
So I don't have you do that. You better be grateful.
你哋感恩啦，冇要你咁做。
And I don't have you sit for 6 or 8 hours
冇叫你坐6至8個鐘啊。
unless it's done naturally.
除非你係好自然咁去做。
And I don't have you walk slow, I have you walk fast so you get circulation going.
又叫你坐行得快啊，所以你啲血液可以循環。
And I don't have you sleep 2 hours a day.
又冇叫你睡2個鐘。
See how easy I am?
哇！對你哋幾輕鬆容易。
Now you go to bed at 10 o'clock,
10點就瞓啦，
you get up at 5 o'clock.
5點先起身，
That's 7 hours.
7個鐘啦。
This is like walking in the park on a beautiful day.
哇！好似喺公園散步咁啊，你哋。
And then after lunch, I say, go lay down,
哇！
take rest.
食完晏仲可以小休添。
So that's 8 hours a day.
8個鐘啊，足足俾你哋瞓足。
See how easy I am on you?
幾好啊，對你哋。Thank you， 謝謝。
Yeah. Okay, so do you have any questions?
有問題嗎？
Yeah.
Why she cannot move？
Because it breaks your concentration.
你個定力會失咗。
And it's not that hard once you get used to it.
其實你係當你習慣咗係可以唔喐嘅，當你個定有喺嗰度，你就唔會喐。
And like I said, I do understand pain.
佢明白痛係。
And I know you can go through that.
你一定可以咧係可以咧超越呢樣嘢。
So I don't want to hear any more complaining.
唔好再投訴啦嚇。仲有咧，有冇其他問題？
Okay?
冇啦係嘛？冇問題啊？有冇問題？
Okay, let's. Yeah.
The pain in meditation, is there really no end to it
No, there is an end to it.
when you're dead?
I don't have any pain when I sit. And the people that I teach don't have any pain. You have to develop equanimity. That means allow it to be there, don't keep your attention on it. It will fade away by itself. And it doesn't take very long, actually. unless you start making a big deal in your mind and I don't like this and I want it to stop.
咁啊痛啊，
Then you're at war with yourself.
痛啊，可唔可以咧止息嘅咧？咁其實有方法嘅。呢個方法咧就係你提高你嗰個等持心。當個等持心咧能夠係深入可以帶動到你呢個禪定喺嗰度咧，你顯除喺呢個痛咧，你容忍佢，佢會自動消失咁你咧可以咁樣更加坐得耐，用個平靜心equanimity。
If you think back when you were practicing in Burma, the pain, could you have relieved your pain?
If I would have been told how to do it correctly, yes. But I did it for 20 years. I mean, I'm a slow learner.
佢喺緬甸咧冇人咁樣如實咁樣正確咁教導佢，所以當時係好痛。
But I
捱咗20年。
I was determined to follow whatever the teacher told me.
佢深信咧老師教佢乜佢就跟足咁佢又冇諗第二樣嘢。
But according to practice, when there is obstruction in your well whatever the tendons or whatever
Right.
in the course of circulation, when there's an obstruction, there is pain.
Yes, there
If you
is.
can overcome that obstruction, the pain would
Not
disappear.
necessarily. It depends on how bad it is. See, the difference between real pain and meditation
That's why
pain.
I said it 2 nights ago.
Yeah. Real pain doesn't go away. If you have bad nerves in your back, then you try to sit in a way where you're most comfortable. And if you still have that pain and have trouble moving, I tell you to lie down.
痛有兩種㗎因為咧有啲係真正你個神經痛一種咧就係你禪修譬如話堵塞咗個痛咁如果你係神經痛咧，個 nerve system 痛咧，佢話咁你搞唔掂嘅話，坐得唔舒服，最後佢會叫你瞓喺度嚟打坐。
You haven't finished now the second one, the meditation pain.
The meditation pain will go away. It does not cause physical problems.
禪修嘅痛咧，佢唔會停留
It's all mental.
即刻離開嘅。你一起身咧，咁就會離開。
And the reason that pain comes up and it's so intense is because you broke a precept in the past, maybe 50 lifetimes ago. Who knows?
禪修嘅痛就係因為你哋咧破咗戒，而呢啲戒痕咧形成一個業，而呢個業就會形成你哋呢個痛楚。
Even the Buddha had pain at the end of his life.
佛陀都有背痛。
He had back pain and he had to get somebody else to carry on with the instruction, and he would lay down to relieve that pain. But it didn't affect his mind.
佛陀都當時有背痛，痛到咧佢唔可以維持呢個法會，佢要瞓喺度去讓其他人主持個法會咁樣。
By the end of his life, he was moving very, very slowly.
到佢老年家嗰陣，佛陀都係行動好慢因為個背痛。但佢痛啫，係即係個身體痛，但係佢唔影響佢個心。
At my center, we have a lot of different size pillows. And sometimes if you're sitting and you get a pain in your knee or a pain in your hip, if you take a low pillow and just put one foot on it, that balances everything in your body, and then everything you can sit for a long time without pain.
佢意思話你哋邊度痛咧？你識得用啲細嘅 cushion 嗰啲枕頭咁左轉下右轉下，整翻個身體平衡咁你個痛咧就會減輕。
The kind of chairs that we have, they have armrests. Well, if your arm is not moving, you're feeling, you go to sleep. And then you get up and you can hardly move and it's needles stabbing you. So I tell them to take a pillow that's the right size and put their arms on it.
戰一
then
戰
that
啊，揾
doesn't
啲
happen anymore.
有個 cushion 啊、枕頭仔戰一戰咧，咁你就唔會有呢種起身之後麻麻痹痹嘅痛嘅種感覺。
So I am continually watching out for you so that you don't hurt yourself.
佢會咧關照住，讓你哋唔會受到傷害嘅。你講英文啊嘛，你英文咁叻。
佢哋都要聽中文㗎嘛。唔係好叻嘅啫，唔好咁樣啊！咁咧我咳嘅時間咧，咁我就忍，但係忍唔到都係咳。咁咳完之後繼續試，
係啊，OK
繼續試。我咳咗3次，咁然之後我咧想睇嗰本簿咧，即係嗰個禪修簿咧，佢有寫喎，原來係要咳出嚟。咁我想問下，係咪真係可以繼續禪修咳完之後？
咁當然係啦，你身體個反應。She's asking, she have coughing, so is it okay to cough during the meditation?
It has to be if you're going to cough.
係啊，你咳嗰陣肯定要咳㗎
But
嘛。
you 6R it still. Sometimes that cough will go away by itself.
或者你嘗試用息哨。
And sometimes you have to sneeze, but you 6R that, and then that feeling just fades away and you don't need to sneeze.
有時6R 都可以有用有效，但係有時真係要咳嗰陣就咳㗎啦。
My question is after coughing and then I just carry on and don't need to start from the beginning.
No. It's the same as when you open up your eyes.
好似你擘開眼啫嘛。
Okay, you feel like sometimes you can do a meditation and you sit and you think, oh, I've only sat for about 20 minutes, but I'll open my eyes and see. And you sat for 4 hours. Other times, you feel like you sat for 4 hours. You open up your eyes and it's 20 minutes.
有啲人咧打坐咧打咗4個鐘頭，點解唔擘下隻眼望落去咧？佢以為係咩啊？原來係20分鐘。有啲人咧坐咗20分鐘，佢以為坐咗4個鐘嚇。係啊，要擘開隻眼睇睇個鐘，要靠感覺唔知。
Last night I was telling you the difference between one-pointed concentration and what I'm showing you. There's just one step difference.
琴日同你哋講，就係話我哋用嗰個 one pointer 一注啊，你點講 one pointer 一點專注，一點專注呢個禪修咧就有問題。
And it's amazing how attached people are and not willing to experiment and see if it's true or not.
好多人咧就好執着咗嗰啲咁嘅修行。
But when people have very, very strong concentration, they'll be sitting and there can be a little tiny noise. This is what happens to them.
如果嗰啲咁過分專注咧，佢容易入呢個定，但呢個定咧少少聲音佢都會即刻成個彈起。
And they get angry.
而且佢會生氣嘅，佢會發火嘅，唔中意嘅。
No, that's not much help to my way of thinking.
咁嘅修行咧就係有問題嘅。
And if they close the door and it's a long ways away, but they still hear it, then they get angry because there's noise.
有時閂門聲都令到佢哋好煩惱。
I did some meditation in America. It was getting close to 100 degrees. What is that, 38, something like that?
38度喺美國禪修好熱，100度華氏。
No air conditioning in the building. No windows in the building. No air. And they said, we have a fan here in the room. Let's turn it off. It disturbs my meditation. And I was not running the retreat. I was just there as a guest. And I said, if you get up and you turn that fan off, I'm going to break your fingers. I said, let's be practical about this. Oh, but it disturbs my meditation so much. Then go outside.
佢話：哇，嘈住我啊！呢、個風扇，咁你不如出去啦咁樣。
At least there you'd have some fresh air.
你起碼出邊有啲新鮮空氣嘛。
So there's some very interesting things. There's people that are very popular teaching one-pointed concentration that
出
are
邊全部都
Americans.
係教緊一個叫一點專注法啊。
And this one man wrote this book, and somebody asked him a question because he heard that people do the meditation and they can go crazy.
聽講話浸師傅話，有啲人寫本書話就咁樣收人會 short 咗，黐咗線。
He said, yes, it's true.
係喎，真係咁噶噃。
But it's only 2 or 3 for every 1,000 people.
咁啊，其實即係芸之中都係2、3個啫。
And that never happens when you practice this way.
其實咁樣喺呢個修行方法就唔會有呢個問題。
Unless you start going off and doing what you want to do instead of what the teacher says.
除非你自己有另外一套嘅，自己咧就走偏咗咁啊，唔跟老師，唔跟導師咁做。
Oh, when you do this kind of meditation, you wind up smiling and more happy all the time.
做呢種禪修咧，話你最後會又開心啦
And you have balance in your mind. You
又
don't
好
get
平
so
衡啦
excited.
唔會太過緊張激動啦。
You don't have so much anger or fear or
冇乜恐
worry.
懼啊，冇乜煩惱啊，冇乜係啊。
Your mind just says, oh, it's okay, it's not that big a
乜嘢都
deal.
話 OK 啦，OK 啦咁。
So this kind of meditation has personality development, so you become more happy.
你會咧個性情咧會有改變改善令到自己嘅心心更加愉快喜悅。
The other kind of meditation, it does not tend to a happy life. You still have an awful lot of pain.
其餘嘅禪修而家出邊市面嘅禪修好多時你個心都係唔係咁淨化到。
Continue on this way, and I promise you, you will feel a lot better by the end of the retreat.
繼續啦喺呢個 retreat 佢應承你哋去到完結呢個 retreat， 你哋一定係會變得更加好。
Okay? So, why don't we share some merit now?
好啦，我哋而家 share 嗰個回向啦
May suffering ones be suffering free, and the fear-struck fearless be. May the grieving shed all grief, and may all beings find relief. May all beings share this merit that we have thus acquired for the acquisition of all kinds of happiness. May beings inhabiting space and earth, devas and nagas of mighty power, share this merit of ours. May they long protect the Buddha's dispensation. Now wait. People ask me why we do this. Why do we share merit? And the answer is the Buddha said that all the monks that share merit after giving a Dhamma talk help the Dhamma to last longer.
佛陀話：我哋所有比丘咧，説完法咧，就一定要回向，就希望個法咧能夠久住於世。
So that's why I do that.
所以我要咁做。
Okay, now you can do it.
願痛苦的人免受痛苦，而恐懼直之時無所畏懼。願冤家徹底擺脫悲傷。願所有眾生都可以得到解脫。 願所有眾生分享我們獲得的各種幸福快樂。願在所有空間和地球的一切眾生，天神與龍天護法神與我們共同分享其修行功德。願他們長久維護佛陀的教導。善哉，善哉，善哉。
Okay. to see the doctor. I want to see the doctor. And if you wake me up a half an hour early, any of this retreat, I'm going to break your head.
Okay. The doctor?
Huh?
Do you want to see the doctor?
Yes.
Okay.
Tomorrow?
Right now.
You have to see doctor now?